Yo, how's everyone doing? Welcome back for some more Forza Horizon 3. Today I'm sharing with you the Lamborghini Reventon, and if I pronounce that wrong, just let me know. Feel free to correct me, but there are a lot of things I want to talk about with this car today, and this was one of the most requested cars to review from the 41 cars that I just bought, and there's a lot of interesting things going on with this thing. But the first thing that I want to say is there are only 20 of these that Lamborghini made, and add one to that because they do have another one sitting in the Lamborghini Museum, which is pretty cool. But this is a nice looking Lamborghini. Some Lamborghinis just look a little weird to me, but this one looks nice and it certainly sounds nice. It really has some nice sounds going on for it. It has a 6.5 liter V12 and I really like the interior. The green just really goes with that gray and black interior, and also keep in mind the stock paint color that you see that I have on this thing is actually the only stock paint color that they made for this particular car, so that is pretty interesting and certainly adds to the uniqueness of it. But we need to talk about the performance of this thing in Forza Horizon 3 because it is very unique and I'm just very surprised by it, I guess I'll say. So the first thing I want to mention though about the statistics is in game it says that this car weighs about 4,000 pounds. Now I honestly would have never thought that this car weighs 4,000 pounds. It just doesn't seem quite that heavy, so I decided to look it up just to make sure that that was accurate, and it turns out that it might actually be 3,700 pounds and not 4,000. That is a pretty decent difference, and I'm not sure which is actually correct, so if anyone knows for sure, just let me know. But the way those vents move is really cool, and you notice that at certain speeds, those will move when you're driving, so that is something that's really cool, and I love that you can see that in the Forza Vista. But I thought that was really odd that the weight kind of seems like it might not be right in the game, but in terms of performance, you certainly do notice the weight. The handling is certainly not amazing, but the performance of this thing overall is very unique. The way it drives is something that feels totally different than any other car that I've driven, and the first thing is right there, that launch. I mean, you get practically zero wheel spin, which makes sense for an all-wheel drive car, I guess, but usually high-powered all-wheel drive cars still get some wheel spin. I mean, this thing practically had zero wheel spin off the start, and sometimes it doesn't smoke off the start at all. Like, you saw a little bit there, but usually it doesn't even do that at all. So the launch on this thing, the grip at least, is very good, but the gearing on this car, it has a 6-speed transmission and the gears are all very long, but that actually makes the launch feel very bad. Even though this thing is all-wheel drive, it just feels very sluggish. Like, it launches and then you feel like you're in first gear for like 20 seconds, even though apparently 0 to 60 is like 3.4 seconds, and the 0 to 100 time is pretty good as well. But the car overall, the acceleration feels very sluggish, and that really surprised me though. I mean, this thing makes over 600 horsepower, almost 500 torque. It has a 6.5 liter V12, and yeah, the car's heavy, but I really thought that it would have felt faster. So the top speed is certainly good, and that's one strength kind of as well, as the top end of the car is pretty good. Like, it feels kind of slow accelerating in the lower gears, but it really doesn't feel any slower at the top end, so it's kind of a good thing because it maintains its acceleration. So it's like one of those things where, same thing with the launch and the acceleration, it's good and it's bad at the same time, but it really doesn't feel that great to drive. And same thing with the braking. The braking feels good if you're going 100 miles per hour or slower, but if you're going like 150 and trying to make a really hard stop and make a turn, usually you're going to have to brake very far back, and the distances seem to get very long. So the car overall is just very weird. Like, it's good in some ways, but in the same aspect, it's also bad. So in terms of actually spending money on this thing, this car is worth 1.3 million, and it's in the middle of the S1 class. I'm thinking that has to be one of the more expensive S1 cars, and I don't think this car stock is worth that money at all. But the weird thing is, even after everything that I just told you about this car, for some reason I have a very strong feeling that this will be a very good S1 car. So I'm gonna work on a tune for it, and once I do that, I'll be able to truly tell you if I think this car is worth the 1.3 million. But if you're looking at it bone stock, no, it is not. The speed is not good, it just feels slow, and the handling characteristics don't make it any better. But let me know what you think of the Lamborghini Reventon in Forza Horizon 3, but as always, thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to y'all again very soon. Peace out.